Okay, hello everyone. Thank you for joining, whether you're live or going to watch this recording. I wanted to share this video today, or this class, to help people manage their high levels of stress, anxiety, feelings of overwhelm, fear. There's a lot of that going on, right? It's pretty crazy right now. The state of the world, we never know what's going to happen day to day. We don't know how long the stay at home is going to last, and people who have small businesses or have children at home are dealing with a lot of additional stress that they never had to deal with before. So one of the things that I wanted to talk about, I had decided last week that because I was trying to figure out some direction for this class that would be really meaningful, because I call this class Essential Oil Apothecary. And my idea was to teach people how to use natural remedies, plant-based medicines, and different techniques through yoga, Ayurveda, and of course aromatherapy, and really make it practical for people. So I thought I would do an A to Z. And so last week I decided, okay, I'm going to go through all of doTERRA's products from A to Z and talk about them and how we can use them and really integrate them into our daily lives. Because if we were to see all of doTERRA's products presented on a shelf at the grocery store, for example, or a health food store or wellness center, we really wouldn't know what everything is for, right? Like, who knows what cilantro oil is for besides like to flavor food or something. So I'm talking about adaptive today. Now, I felt like when I looked at, because I was looking at all the products in alphabetical order, and I was like, which one is the first one? And I was thinking it was going to be, I was going to do Arbor Vitae, because really that goes first in the alphabet, A, B, it comes before AD, but I decided, because I've had a lot of people call me and talk to me about how stressed out they are, so I wanted to talk about this line right here by doTERRA. Can you see that? Okay, so this is the adaptive line, and this is the 15 milliliter bottle blend. It's the calming blend. So I need my glasses here because the writing is so small. It's getting smaller. Not my eyes. My eyes aren't getting worse. The writing's getting smaller.
Yeah.
Okay, so this is one that I've been using in my diffuser on a, well, not, I wouldn't say a regular basis, but just when I feel that I am kind of dipping down, which is natural. We all do it. So this is for aromatic and topical use. And let's see, the ingredients in here. The blend contains wild orange, which comes from the peel of the orange. It contains lavender oil, which comes from the flowers. Copaiba oil, which comes from the resin of the balsam wood trees in Brazil. It also contains spearmint flower, magnolia flower, rosemary leaf, neroli, and sweet gum resin. And this is the essential oil blend, okay? So this is the pure blend. This is not diluted, all right? So you can apply this topically, and when we're talking about doing emotional aromatherapy, we want to really focus on the pulse points, which are the neck, the wrist, right? That's where we can feel the pulse. We also want to put it on the base of the brainstem, that notch in the back of on the base of the skull, right where it connects with the neck. And we also want to put it on the soles of the feet, especially focusing on the big toe mound, because the big toe, it has the reflexology points for the brain. Okay, so this is a great one to also put in your diffuser because it's undiluted. So you don't want to put carrier oils in your diffuser, really. Even though I have put some blends in my diffusers with carrier oils in them, it's really not recommended because it can clog them up, so you'll need to clean your diffuser more often than not. Okay, so this is the blend, and doTERRA has the ADAPTIV product line, which contains 3 products. The next one I want to talk about is the ADAPTIV Touch. Now, let me see, can you see where it says touch on the label right there?
Yeah.
Is that okay? Good. So whenever you see a doTERRA Touch blend, it's going to come in a 10 milliliter roller bottle. So it has the metal roller, so that's really nice. It's cooling, and it's more clean than the plastic tops. So this one is a great one where you can keep it in your purse, in your pocket, and keep this with you all day, every day when you need it. This is going to be like your, I'm going to call it spot cleaner. You know, when we have a spot on our clothes and all of a sudden we need to, you know, if we don't take care of that immediately, it's going to set in. So if we don't check in with ourselves emotionally, or if we just let our emotions start to go rampant or crazy, and there's an analogy to that in one of the great spiritual texts from the Hindu tradition, and it's called the Bhagavad Gita. So Krishna, who represents God or consciousness, is talking, he's the charioteer for Arjuna, who is the famous master archer, who is like the famous warrior. And Krishna is talking to Arjuna and telling him that our brain and our 5 senses are like having 5 horses attached to the reins of the chariot, and Krishna is holding on to the reins. Now, as he holds onto the reins, he's directing these horses or 5 senses to where they need to go. They're not running in every direction, going amok. He is single focused, and when we can become single focused and harness our mind and learn to become masters of our mind rather than a slave to our mind, then we're going to actually have an easier time in life when we learn how to manage our emotions. Now, the essential oils and aromatherapy come in place here because the nose is a direct pathway to the brain. So essential oils or aromatherapy is a way to inhale, moves through the olfactory and into the limbic system. And the limbic system, it governs the nervous system, right? It governs emotions. It's where we store our memory. So we can either be living in fight or flight mode, where we are pumping out major amounts of cortisol, which puts us on edge, and it gives us lots of high stress. And it puts us in that fight or flight mode, which means that we're ready for battle. Okay, we're like fighting for our life, like something is happening that's completely stressing us out. So whether that be nowadays just having to deal with your children 24/7 and homeschool them and feed them every single meal and answer every single question and be their entertainer, and the list goes on, that's overwhelming and that causes a lot of stress. If you own a small business and you're not able to go back to work right now, but you still have to pay your bills and you're worrying about your employees and their families, that is a major stress in life. Maybe you're really concerned about getting the virus. Maybe you have people who have had the virus or have the virus and are sick or have even died. There's a lot of real stressors going on in the world. So having the adaptive touch on hand at all times, you can again just roll this on the pulse points of your wrists, on the pulse points of your neck, the base of your brainstem, and on the soles of your feet, especially the big toe. And if that means going into the bathroom somewhere and locking the door and taking off your shoes and socks and putting oils on your feet, putting the diffuser on, and just sitting and taking some deep breaths for 1 to 3 minutes, then that's going to really help you manage that stress. It's going to give you an opportunity to take yourself out of that stressful situation. Even if you can't get out of that stressful situation, you can kind of tune yourself out for a minute, even if you have the chaos all around you. And you can put on your oils, take some deep breaths, and really begin to reset your nervous system. Because when we take at least 10 deep breaths, slow and deep, we begin to fill the lungs to capacity, and we take a slight pause. And then we exhale all that breath out as slow as we can and take a slight pause at the bottom of the exhale. And then we begin that cycle of breath all over again. So it really does affect the whole body. It has a profound effect, which is where that cliche comes from. Like if you feel really angry and you're about to blow your top and say something that you may regret, they say to step back and take 10 slow, deep breaths. So when we pair this with ADAPTIV or an essential oil that resonates with us, that helps us to relax, we're going to reset the brain and create a new pattern and a new way of being. Now we can also supplement ourselves with the third ADAPTIV product, which is doTERRA's capsules. Now this has a slightly different blend than the oils. So this is also essential oil based as well as botanical based. So this has been a combination that has been clinically studied to promote calming benefits within us. And it's mood enhancing. It's a relaxing formula, but it helps to keep us alert. So it's not like a dull relaxation where we're about to go to sleep. It's a very alert type of feeling relaxed because it has GABA in here as one of its ingredients. Now, GABA stands for gamma aminobutyric acid. And this is a naturally occurring amino acid that works as a neurotransmitter in your brain. And neurotransmitters function as chemical messengers. So GABA is considered an inhibitory neurotransmitter because it blocks or inhibits certain brain signals and decreases activity in your nervous system. So this has a quieting effect on the brain. It's a natural comforting effect that helps reduce feelings of apprehension and fear by decreasing this neuronal excitability. So when we're in fight or flight mode, our nervous system is on overload, so this helps to calm that down. So instead of feeling like frazzled, like you just stuck your finger in an electrical socket, it really calms the nervous system because it coats. It just creates like almost like a coating, like a protective blanket or layer over the nervous system, the cells in the nervous system. And it sometimes is called the brakes in the brain because it lowers this activity of the neural activity and in the brain activity and in the central nervous system. So it has the effect of moving the brain and body into a lower gear. So it inhibits neural activity. By inhibiting this neural activity, it reduces mental and physical strain. It also contains the botanical extract, let me see if I pronounce this right, Scletum. And Scletum is from a succulent plant actually found in South Africa, which is known as Kana. Now, the scolitum extract is responsibly sourced from a sustainable supply with endorsement by the South African Indigenous Wisdom Keepers, which I love. It has a unique phytochemical ingredient found in the scolitum extract that brings a feeling of alert serenity. So this is what I was talking about, where we feel relaxed but alert. So this extract supports healthy emotional responses to everyday stressors and promotes feelings of happiness and well-being, which we can all use an extra boost of that, right? We all need an extra dose of happiness. And it balances healthy levels of mood balancing hormones and improves cognitive function while combating occasional nervousness. And it's an alkaloid, which is a profound physiological effect that calms and soothes. And also in my notes here, I did a little bit of research about the other ingredient that the capsules contain, which is ahi flower. Now, this is an amazing plant because we can actually get our omega 3 and 6 from this plant, which is amazing. So it is a biological plant-based omega. So it doesn't have to come from fish, which is where we commonly hear we get a lot of our omegas, which is a lot of times where we get that misconception of, especially in the standard American diet, so sad. They say that in order to get your amino acids, your omegas, you need to eat meat. That is a false notion. And if you were in my cleanse, in my 30-day cleanse in January, we talked a lot about how there are so many misconceptions about eating meat and getting enough protein, especially if you're a vegetarian. So, so ahi flower actually contains more total and biologically advanced plant omegas, like SDA, which is stearidonic acid. I believe that's how you pronounce it. Excuse me if you're a scientist and I'm mispronouncing the words here. But it has more plant omegas than any other natural plant source, including flax, chia, and hemp seed oils, which is really interesting. Unlike flax, ahi also contains GLA, which is an essential omega-6 fatty acid associated with skin health, hormonal balance, and anti-inflammatory support. So this is really a great ingredient to add because now we're getting our omegas, which creates healthy fats, which we need for our healthy brain. It also is creating hormonal balance, which a lot of times when our hormones are out of balance, it's going to express itself, in our mind, in our mood, and then physically in our body, right? So when we're stressed, a lot of times we hold on to excess body weight or fat. And one of the reasons is because back in, when we were living in primal times and we went into fight or flight mode, we didn't know when we were going to eat again. And so when we go into fight or flight, we store that fat. So if anyone is trying to lose weight, then living a high stress life is going to actually prevent you from managing your weight and getting to a healthy weight, which is also really fascinating. Now, because this ahi flower is not from fish, it's vegetarian based, it's 100% sustainable, and it doesn't have any fishy taste. And you may notice when you take omegas or fish oils, you may burp up that fish taste, which is so horrible, right? How yucky is that? So we don't have to deal with that. So, and also to alleviate that, that is also a sign of dehydration. So if you're ever burping up a taste of a food, you need to drink more water. Okay, so neither fish oil nor flax oil contains that GLA. And that's, again, that essential omega fatty acid. That is good for those things I just talked about. Okay, so that's just briefly these products in a bottle. But what I wanted to do is share with you a little video. It's just a snippet of a longer video from one of doTERRA's seven founders and owners of the company, Dr. David Hill. So Dr. David Hill used to be the chief medical officer to doTERRA, but now his passion is really working with hospitals and partnering with different kind of medical institutions, because he really wants to do more clinical studies on people rather than animals, or just on, in a lab, in a petri dish. But he really wants to prove how essential oils work on humans, how they affect all 12 systems of the body. So here he's talking about the blend, ADAPTIV, and the 3 products. So let me just share my screen with you here. And then I'll just start the video. So,
allow us to come into a state of balance.
And let me know, Gail, if you can hear this okay.
In the central nervous system, the parasympathetic system begins to come at ease. And so we have a great relaxation that takes place. That's significant, especially when it comes to the effects that we see within stress overall. Now let's talk quickly about the ahi flower, because this is yet another important component and part of what we see within the adaptive capsules. Now, we talked a little bit earlier with the lifelong vitality about the importance, and we did it just very briefly, of fatty acids. We need essential fatty acids. We need them to be bioavailable, and we need a good amount, and we need them to be usable by cells and tissues within the body. One of the great things about the ahi flower is that when we do get a rich source of fatty acids from the ahi flower. However, what we have is stearidonic acid, which is actually converted into EPA and DPA, eicosapentaenoic and eicosahexaenoic acid, those 2 critical fatty acids that we all need. So we get greater bioavailability by getting plant-based fatty acids in this particular supplement. Now, we've also added some beautiful essential oils into the adaptive supplement. We have lavender, we have coriander, we have wild orange, and we have fennel. And they have collectively a large amount of linalool associated with them, especially the lavender and the coriander. Now, one of the reasons why linalool is so important, I'm going to give you another view into why linalool is so important with the essential oils. Now, the oils of lavender and coriander and wild orange with that high component of linalool actually gives us an effect and a benefit into another pathway. It is part of the sympathetic response. Remember, we talked about excitatory neurotransmitters. And we said there was glutamate, and there was also epinephrine and norepinephrine. Norepinephrine, again, from the amygdala to the hypothalamus, can be released from the adrenal medulla of the adrenal gland. That happens by depolarization of voltage-gated calcium channels. Now, I know that's super exciting for all of you. It simply means this. If we can prevent that from depolarizing, then we can prevent the release of epinephrine and norepinephrine. And there's a number of studies that have shown that linalool directs the activity of calcium channels. And so it's yet another way that we can help the body to manage and respond more appropriately to the different stressors that we find ourselves in with some consistency. So when we look at the supplement itself, here's the key benefits that we see. We know that we can increase inhibitory neurotransmitters with GABA. We We know that with the alkaloids, we can control more fully the stress response, react and respond a little bit better, and we can sustain both GABA and serotonin. With the ahi flower, we get more bioavailable fatty acids, which are important for cellular structure and function. As well as body systems as a whole. And then lastly, we can work through calcium channels to have a more controlled response of other excitatory neurotransmitters. Now let's shift gears just a little bit and let's talk about the olfactory pathway. Now, remind you of what we talked about with the limbic system one more time. And we can do a snapshot back into that limbic system and know that we have the perception of aroma through the olfactory bulb. And then that leads to the olfactory cortex, which then can go to the amygdala, the hypothalamus, the pituitary, and finally we have the release of a hormone called cortisol. Now, if you've done any reading or have any understanding of stress response in the body, you've probably heard a lot about cortisol. And cortisol, like most things in the body, is there for a reason, and it's not always bad. Cortisol, for example, helps to control inflammatory response, to normalize that response. It helps to control allergic response, and it inhibits the immune system in that regard. It helps to stimulate the liver to convert fatty acids to glucose so that if we need extra energy, we have that. And then lastly, it maintains emotional stability, and it helps to counteract the activity of stress. Challenge with cortisol, like most things, is if it becomes prevalent and chronic and sustainable. Now, earlier we talked about lifestyle factors, and I said adrenal fatigue is.
Oh, what happened? I think my video, I don't know what's going on. I'm having problems. That's too bad because I think that's a really interesting information. Oh, Molly is waiting to get in here. Let's see. Hi, Molly. I hope you weren't waiting too long. We were just watching Dr. David Hill's video, and he was explaining about the adaptive system. And I actually didn't get to the part of the video that I wanted, but that's okay. I'm going to try to share that in another way. So maybe I'll make another video that I'll send out to everyone so that they can see that if you didn't get a chance to participate in that video with Dr. David Hill. Now, one of the other things that I wanted to share about what's going on with adaptive right now, and again, I just have to maneuver to my notes here, so bear with me a moment because my computer works just a little bit slower when I have Zoom going on. I actually should have had it set up on my phone. Sorry. Okay, so if anyone is interested in trying adaptive, then you can either contact me or whoever shares this video with you, and we are more than happy to send you a sample of the adaptive oil so that you can try it for yourself. doTERRA also created a new enrollment kit, which is the adaptive enrollment kit, and that includes all 3 adaptive products, as well as a year of premium access to doTERRA's new adaptive app. So I'm going to show you what the app looks like on my phone. We went through it in a little bit yesterday, online and live. Oops. This is what it looks like. Can you see that icon right there? I can't see.
There's a glare. We can't see it.
You can't see? How about now?
No.
No. No?
Well, kind of, yes.
Okay, let me see. Oh, I see. Okay, let me see.
Yes.
Okay, so that is what the app looks like. It's just called Adaptive App. So if you just type that into your however you get your apps. You can get that app, and you can get when you download it, you have a free 2-week trial. Now, this app is super amazing. I did not purchase the premium access yet, but I surely will. But you put your information in, and doTERRA has partnered with some scientists that have studied biorhythms. And what you can do is you can keep a daily voice journal in your ADAPTIV app, and depending on how you feel, there's different courses or recommendations or sessions for you. So they are as little as short as 8 minutes up to, I think the longest one I've seen so far is like maybe 35 minutes. And you can choose, and I'm sorry if you can't see this, but there's so many different sessions that we can choose from. So if you're new to meditation or mindfulness practices, this is a really great thing to get. Now, if you want to keep a journal, so this is the dashboard part. Now, at the bottom, you can see where it says journal. So I'm going to press on journal. And today it says I haven't made a journal entry yet, so I'm going to add a journal. And it says, good afternoon, Karuna. Let's create a new journal entry. Select an emoji below that represents your overall feelings today. I feel really good today. So I'm going to press. You have different faces, so can you see those emojis? So you just press one. So, I mean, I'm not overly ecstatic, so I'm not going to go to like the excited one, but I feel happy. So I'm going to do the smiley face one. Now, what is consuming your mind today? Is it finances, work, family, relationships, your health and wellness, or society concerns, or other? So you can actually choose what is on your mind, what you're worrying about. If you want to choose more than one, you can. I'm going to say what's consuming my mind today is work. So I click on work, and it says, how did I sleep last night? Now, I've been working a lot the last couple days, and I didn't go to sleep till 3 o'clock last night, but I got 6 hours of sleep because I woke up at 9, which is really unheard of. I don't do that a lot, but it's Boga week. Okay, so, but I did sleep well. So I'm gonna add a happy face because I slept well. And what products have I used today? So for me, it gives you the choice here. So I add the ADAPTIV capsules when I take my Lifelong Vitality Pack and my Terrazyme digestive enzymes and the PB Assist probiotics. That's like my minimum basic staple supplement that I take every day. And I add the ADAPTIV to that. And then I didn't put any ADAPTIV in my diffuser today, but I have used the Touch. So I'm going to put the capsules and the Touch, and I'm going to continue. Now it says express, can you see that? Express your gratitude and elevate your outlook. So you can record an entry of how you're feeling, and you can name your journal entry so that you can do it later. Now, I'm just going to cancel that for right now. And I just want to go back to the dashboard because I want to show you how you can approach it in another way. So once you record your journal entry, what's going to happen is the biorhythms begin to come in, and it begins to read the cadence, the tone, the mood of your voice. I don't know how it does it. It's all science, but it can actually pick up the little nuances in your voice, and it's going to begin to direct you to a course that you need. Okay. Now so that's how you could do it if you recorded how you're feeling in the journal. Now, if you go back to the dashboard and you look up suggested courses for you, I could choose a course. So I'm going to look at one that says Strong All Season, orienting to the environment. So this simple practice offers methods for getting grounded in your physical environment in present time. It can be a very helpful baseline to take the bite out of intense anxiety. Make the most out of your meditation by using your adaptive and put a drop in the palm of your hands before the session. So it gives you those directions before you start your session. So then we start our session, and before you start your session, you then begin your session with a positive affirmation, and it gives you a positive affirmation to repeat as you record it. Okay, so this is where it starts to record your voice again to listen to your biorhythms. So the affirmation today, I'm going to record it. May I bring curiosity and openness to my mindfulness practice. May I bring patience to the process and also turn that patience toward myself. Okay, then you stop and it says finish and it analyzes it. So then it's going to orientate you to the course and it will start taking you to the course. So I'm not going to go through the course right now. I'm going to stop the session. And you can stop it, you can pause it, you can continue later. But it's such a cool app. So if you already have a doTERRA wholesale account and you don't want to get that enrollment kit, although you can still purchase enrollment kits even if you have a doTERRA account, which I've done before because they're such great deals. So with that adaptive enrollment kit that comes with, sorry, my phone was ringing. But if you wanted to purchase the doTERRA Adaptive Enrollment Kit, you're going to get doTERRA's 3 products here, and you're going to get a full year access, the premium access to the adaptive app. Now, I'm going to just press finish session, and I'm just going to skip and go back. You'll see that there are some places when you're browsing around through the courses, because you can look at the browse button and it will show you course after course after course you can take. But then you'll see that there's locked course content. So that's one of the benefits of having the premium account, is that you have access to way more content. And like I said, obviously I haven't ordered my access yet, which I'm going to do probably next month when things calm down a little bit. But with that access, you get the premium, with that enrollment kit, you get the premium access and those 3 products for $150 wholesale. It's a great deal. Then, let me see, but I got distracted, so let me look for the other adaptive products. You can get, let me see, you can get a month access to the adaptive app and a bottle of the capsules. And you can pay either, see, this is where I need the prices. Oops. I'm wanted right now, sorry. It's good to be wanted, right? Loved by our friends. Okay, here it is. So the adaptive capsules, the 30-day access to the app, is normally it retails at $60, but we pay wholesale $45, and you actually get 35 product points applied to your LRP order if you're ordering monthly. The premium access, if you just want access to the app, that is retail $100, wholesale $75, and you'll get 50 points. Let me go to the next picture. If you just want to try, oh, I said that already, the 1 month supply. And then the enrollment kit, like I said, it retails at $200, but it wholesales at $150, and you get 120 points for that, okay? What I would recommend if anyone is really struggling with anxiety, stress, feeling overwhelmed, depression, you know, I can talk about this personally because I've suffered in my life from severe depression where I honestly didn't think that I was going to make it. But lucky for me, that's what led me to yoga. So thank you, universe, for my depression because it changed my life. So some of the things that we feel may be really traumatic in our life are actually given to us for our spiritual growth. So we may not be able to see the light when we're knee deep in trauma, but when we come out of it, or maybe we can find the lessons in it and take a higher perspective while we're in it. But sometimes and oftentimes we don't see that benefit until after we're out of it. And then we see all the blessings that evolve from that one traumatic incident or series of unfortunate events. Didn't they make a movie about that? The series of unfortunate events? I think I've seen it. It's a really funny movie, actually, with Jason Bateman. Oh my gosh, he's hilarious. He's such a good actor. Anyway, watch funny movies. That's a good remedy. Watch comedies if you feel depressed or anxious. Try to change up your routine a little bit. Maybe if you can get yourself out of the situation like I was talking about earlier and you're having a moment, maybe you create some boundaries for yourself and say, Mom's going to have a timeout. Mom needs a timeout. Or I just need a timeout, you know, and just, I think when we show others how we can manage our stress and negative emotions in a very mindful way, our children mimic what we do, right? So they're not going to do what we say, they're going to mimic what we do. So when we're able to take care of ourselves and really look after our health, and as a reminder too that our emotional health actually originates and begins in our digestive tract and the GI tract. If we don't have a healthy microbiome in our gut, that can lead to so many diseases, including mental illness and imbalance. So what Dr. David Hill did say in the video the bit that we did get to watch, is take your Lifelong Vitality Pack vitamin supplements, the LLV. They're medically and scientifically formulated, they're guaranteed, and I don't know any other company that will allow you to take a full month supply of their vitamins, and if you don't like them, you can send the empty bottles back within 45 days of your purchase for a full refund. So that's pretty amazing. So it's zero risk, and if you really want to make a change in your life, you're the only one that can do it. And I remember when I was severely depressed, my friends had to have an intervention for me because I was living with some friends. And that living with a depressed person is very, very draining. It's not fun. I was crying every day. It was horrible. I had to force myself to go to work. I had to wear a mask. I was living this fake life. I was this empty shell that felt soulless, just going through the motions of life and being a really good actress. So let's not be actors in our life. Let's be authentic and really take care of ourselves. So take your LLV vitamins. We also talked about taking your enzymes, your digestive enzymes. So you need to be able to eat a really good diet, hopefully no junk food, no processed food. You're eating organic and close to the source as you can. And this is a great opportunity. I mean, we're home, restaurants are closed. Why would you want to order takeout when there's a virus and have someone else make your food and have someone else deliver it? It doesn't make sense. So start playing with your food and start creating your life from plants. And that's our foundation of health. And then also we need we need proper pre and probiotics in our diet. So that's where doTERRA's PB Assist comes in. But I don't want to talk about those products so much. I just wanted to let you know that if you are dealing with severe issues with your emotional wellness, that is going to be a really great support for you, alongside with getting outside, getting sunlight. If you can't get into nature, try to just get outside and close your eyes and just bring yourself to your happy place and use your mind to transport yourself, because the mind is the best tool we can rely on. So for me, my happy place is, as if you saw my Instagram post yesterday, being in the sun, just being in the sun and feeling the warmth of the sun. Unfortunately, it's raining here today, but we do get sunny days, and that sun is full of prana, of life force, and we need that vitamin D. So you don't want to go and bake in the sun at high noon between the hours of like 11 and 2 or something, but like get out in the sun and really soak that energy in. Drink really pure water. Try not to drink out of plastic bottles. Stop buying plastic. It's a petrochemical and it's a toxic that is polluting our environment and choking up our water systems, and we want to keep everything healthy. So instead, invest in a really good water filter, right? It'll save you money in the long run anyway, and it will save our environment. I posted something on my Facebook profile page today about 20, I think there were 20 tips about things that you can do, that I was just thinking about, like what can I do in my life that I try to do every day anyway, about being better stewards to our earth. And when we can take care of our earth, which is very sick right now, which is why everyone's staying in, it's a pandemic. And that's a macro reflection of what's going on in the micro body, what's going on in the microcosm. So everything is connected. And when we can create better mental health and wellness for ourselves, and better physical health for ourselves, and eat properly and more naturally and in tune with the environment, everything is going to start to clean up naturally. It's going to just be a reflection of what's going on within us as a whole humanity. So I think I did a really good job of keeping this class under an hour. I can't believe it. Usually I'm ranting and ranting, but I'm really trying to keep them about an hour here. So I just want to open it up to questions. Do you have any questions, my loves? Any comments, anything that I missed that you want to contribute that you think is really important for people to know?
Yes. Dr. Amy Moore did a study of an adaptive study. And during that study, what she found and has passed on to me is that every day she takes one copaiba or copaiba, however you want to pronounce it, soft gel with the adaptive capsule, and it enhances the effect. And so I just automatically do that. So I don't know if it enhances it for me. It just works real well.
Okay, that's really interesting. I'll have to talk to her about that, because that was an amazing study. I was partnered with her in that, and we had over 300 people in that study. I mean, that just shows you how many people are suffering in their own minds, you know? And that's one of the reasons that brought me to yoga. I felt like I was victimized by my mind. I felt like I was going to go insane or kill myself, or just I was praying for death. It's intense, and I've had 3 people in my community over the last, I guess, year now that have killed themselves because they can't deal with their mental illness, whether they're bipolar or severe depression. I mean, it's real. And also, I do so much research, sometimes I don't remember where I hear things from, but when we experience such prolonged heartache, that actually manifests physically in the body and weakens the tissue around the heart. Oh, I was talking to my friend Isis. My friend Isis is from Mexico. She's amazing. She lives here in Bend, Oregon, and I met her recently in my spiritual community here. I love her. And she's been living in Bend for like 30 years. And she has a pacemaker. And she was telling me that about the heartache that she's experienced in her life, and that the doctor told her that there's actually a medical term for heartache. I can't remember what she called it, but it's real. So we've got to take care of ourselves. We got to take care of our hearts. It gives me chills. You know, we got to love each other more. We've got to talk about how we're feeling more. I mean, for me, I just hid it away, put a fake smile on my face. And I was teaching yoga at the time too. I owned a yoga studio. And one day, one of my students had a breakdown to me and just started crying about how depressed she felt and how much she loved coming to my classes because I was always so happy and she felt like I had it all together. And when she said that, I told her, I'm like, I just want you to know this is a total mask I'm putting on right now. I'm dying inside. And I just broke down and cried to her. And we just hugged each other. And, you know, when you can be real with people, it just makes such a difference, you know? It's such healing. And tears are cleansing. It's like crystals coming out of our eyes and healing. And it's a release. We need to release. We need to give each other permission to cry. And I'm not crying because I'm unhappy. I mean, you just saw me earlier. I'm feeling so good today, but one of my spiritual teachers named me compassion, or gave me the spiritual name Karuna, because I feel so deep, you know? And those of us who are so empathetic, we've got to protect our hearts. We've got to protect our energy, our soul. And a lot of times we're feeling energy from everyone else, from the collective. It's not even ours. You know, like right now, I'm just feeling it from the collective because I feel really good. I mean, of course, I have my own pain and heartache and things that I'm dealing with, but yeah, it's intense emotions, right? So, Molly, did you want to share anything? And if you don't, that's okay.
I'm on my phone, so I was like, ugh.
I didn't mean to put you on the spot like that.
Almost lost you for a second. Well, I totally agree with everything you were just saying about how real heartache is on a physical level and how essential it is for us to protect that. And I did want to mention, I enjoyed Dr. Hill's video on ADAPTIV. I watched that yesterday, and I found it really interesting, him sharing the importance of creating that foundation of optimal health, so that it's like, yeah, all these oils are amazing and this new ADAPTIV blend is amazing, but we need to create the atmosphere and the environment to truly experience all the benefits of these plants, you know, because if we're out of balance in our gut, it's just going to, make it, we won't experience the full benefits, and it will be much more difficult for our body to metabolize metabolize it and allow us to really experience, you know, the magic of it all. So that was, I liked that aspect of that. And it also on a, you know, on a business side of it, it, you know, it's kind of, maybe some wouldn't need that aha moment to be like, oh yeah, that's a great way to share this product with people. But for me, I was like, wow, so, you know, your customers, your clients, your community are falling in love with the oils. And that's just another way to tie in lifelong vitality, which is another way to get, you know, your clients and your customers on loyalty reward program each month, you know. So it just kind of was that like, oh wow, it's just a, and for me, it just felt more authentic of a way to be able to share that. Because you know how sometimes it's, there's a little, or I'll just speak for myself. I've found that there is a little bit of like a gap of connection after I'm like sharing the oils with somebody, but I really want them to experience the benefit of the supplements and LLV. But it's all of a sudden it's like, wait, what? We were just, you know, a little like depending, but. Anyways, for me, how I thought of that after hearing that was just to be able to reiterate, let's create this environment to receive all the benefits and create the environment for optimal health so that we really can, you know, see and feel and experience, you know, everything to its full potential.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really true. It's almost like it's like a staple food, you know,
Right.
our vitamins and supplements and these oils. I feel it's like staple food for me because they are plant-based medicines. And you know, my diet is probably, oh gosh, I would say 90% plant-based.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I don't eat a lot of grains. I hardly eat any bread anymore. But, and the more that things drop off, and the more that we refine ourselves, and they often, in the yogic practice, they often talk about it, refining our soul, like polishing a diamond or polishing gold. You know. It's just a constant process of learning what can I do more for myself? How can I help myself feel better? How can I make some really they're honestly simple choices? How can I change my diet where I'm not eating, because I felt like back in the day when I've been a vegetarian since I was 19, but I was a junk food vegetarian. You know, there's lots of vegetarians who are junk food vegetarians, which they eat a lot of processed foods, a lot of fake meats, a lot of you know, soy products. What?
A lot of processed grains too, even.
A lot of processed grains, and so that is really heavy and hard to digest. So the more that I start to learn about health and nutrition and how everything affects us on a subtle level, when I start studying Ayurveda, that if we are doing all these negative things like putting toxic products on our skin, eating a really crappy diet, being in a really depressed environment, or going to a job that we hate every day, being in a toxic relationship, those things are going to just compile. Like maybe we could deal with those things if they were individual, but if we're dealing with stress on top of stress on top of stress, and we're not taking care of ourselves, we're going to hit a breaking point like I did, where I couldn't take care of myself. My friends had to have an intervention for me, and they're like, we love you so much, but if you don't take care of yourself, you need to find a new place to live because we can't handle it. You're waking up crying every day for 2 years. Like, enough's enough. And then when that happens, like, the brain, the serotonin receptors shut down. So even if you're doing things where you're trying to help yourself feel better and you're developing that serotonin, the the receptor is blocked. And that's a lot of times when, for me, modern medicine was a lifesaver because nothing natural was working for me no matter what I tried. And then I went on antidepressants for like a year, and that helped I went on SSRIs. So that helped my serotonin receptors open up. And within like not even 2 weeks, because they say like, oh, 2 weeks of the meds will kick in. I remember waking up one day and I was like, it's like my soul came back into my body. I know,
Yeah.
so I am not against medical
Right.
or pharmaceutical drugs in any way or modern medicine, but we need both. It's complementary. And at that time, I was on them for a year, and then I went to India and lived there for like 6 months and really dove into my practice, my diet, really studied on the science of living. And I was committed to getting off my pharmaceutical drugs because I didn't want to be on them forever. And lucky for me, I could. And I never went back. But some people do have to be on them forever. And I know I have a lot of friends who are taking some kind of pharmaceutical drug to manage their depression, especially if you're bipolar. Because I have not found a natural solution for anyone who's bipolar. So what they're doing is they're using these remedies in conjunction with what they're doing. So they're using them not in replacement, but in support of. So they're the people that are willing to do that are finding a lot of benefits. So I just want to put that out there too. It's not one or the other, either or. And I noticed that especially with this virus, there's camps, right? There's like strong belief this way, strong belief this way, and then there's like clash in the middle. And I talked about that yesterday on Instagram Live, that we're in this together. We are one world community, and there is no race. We're a human race, right? And we have to find solutions together, and we also have to make space for people for their opinions and let them do that and not try to force anyone in any way, because there is not one solution for everyone, which is the Ayurvedic prescription. Like, let's look at the individual. And this is the beauty of this business that I love with plant medicine, is like, let's look at you and what is it that you need, because what I need is going to be totally different from what you need. And that's one of the reasons why doTERRA created this direct marketing sales, because if we looked, like, when I started this conversation earlier, if all the products were on the shelf, we wouldn't even know how to use them. So we have people to talk to that are in our community that have used them for themselves, that are experiencing them, that have a whole community of people that are like-minded, that are using these products too, that are sharing their experiences, and we're just expanding the knowledge. And it's Earth Day today, and these products are 100% sourced sustainably and ethically through doTERRA's co-impact sourcing and sustainability program. And what more could we want besides each other? I can't wait to hug everybody. Well, thanks so much for sharing your experiences, and please feel free to share this video with your friends. I think it's important information that we get out to our loved ones, and really utilize these products that are helping us change our lives. Have a beautiful day, everyone. Namaste. Remember to deep breathe.
Namaste.
And if you want, I'll see you live on my Facebook page tonight for Agnihotra's Healing Fire Ceremony. And I know it's kind of late for you girls on the East Coast, but if you want to learn the practice too, I'll teach you. And I just talked to, I'm going to stop the recording now, actually.